If we're doing top 3 best dressed, probably you, EP, and Vincent. Vincent shows up to everything like blazer on, like nice pants.
Listen, every
Cleaned
time
up.
he shows up, there's some naked mannequin at Banana Republic that's missing literally its whole outfit.
What up, peeps? I'm Jim. Welcome to the Having a Catch podcast, the show where we have a catch and chat with friends. Today I'm having a catch with my favorite lawyer, C-Doggy. C-Dog, how are you, dude?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming on. You're a busy guy. You're a busy
Always.
guy.
Got stuff going on.
Work, 2 kids, 3rd one on the way.
That's right.
Congrats to you guys again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first question I ask everybody, and I feel like I know the answer to this one because we're cousins. We're pretty close. And if it's not the answer, I think I don't want to be your cousin anymore. You say have a catch or play catch?
It's obviously have a catch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like, if you're playing something, there has to be a winner or a loser. When you're
Yeah.
having a catch,
Okay,
everybody wins, right?
right. But nobody, no. But I guess, like, what does Graham say? Does Graham say have a catch?
Oh, it's have a catch. If it's
Okay.
anything different, then he's
Yeah.
got to find a different place to live.
Get the 7-year-old on the curb.
That's right.
Get him out of here.
Let him know what's up. This isn't a game.
Dude, I've had people say, like, they're have a catch people, except maybe with their kid, like they're saying, let's go play catch. But I appreciate that. It's like, no, Graham, get it right.
No,
It's
we're not
have a
playing.
catch. Introduced you as my favorite lawyer, and it's really, I want to talk about your most prolific client. Okay? My brother, Brian.
The notorious Brian.
Yes, the notorious Brian. Because I know there's a notorious story about you representing Brian. And Michael Charles brought it up on his episode. He wanted to talk about it. I said, no. We got to wait for Christopher to be on because
Okay.
he was there when it happened. So Brian got 2 underages, right?
did.
Sorry, Brian, Joe, you don't watch these anyway. The first one, did you represent him for both cases, right?
Both times.
Yeah.
So, and again, to provide a little context, I had just gotten out of law school at the time. So I was working, I think, for the Treasury Department at the time. So not exactly doing criminal defense work, but when Brian called, I answered and told him I would help as much as I can. So that first time, he said that, got an underage, it is what it is. He explained the story to me, and he's like, yeah, I was just crossing the street and someone let me cross. So he stopped midway and made like a heart symbol with his hands. Turns out the guy that let him cross was a state trooper and was like, oh, that dude either flipped me off or did something. So he put him to the side, asked him a couple questions. He's obviously drunk. So he got an underage plus, I think, a public intoxication. So I had to deal with that. He called me up and was like, C-Dog, I need your help. It's like, I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
So fresh out of law school, I'm looking at all the statutes and everything. I'm like, how am I going to defend this? So finally figure it out. And I think it's a genius plan, right? He's going to plead guilty to the underage because you can have it expunged as soon as you turn 21. And I think he was less than a year from turning 21. So I was like, dude, you're going to be a school teacher, right? Or at least he's going to school at the time.
Yeah.
Be a school teacher. I'm like, plead guilty to the underage and we'll just get it expunged. Just don't get another underage, right? You're fine. So the day of, we get there, I talk to the cop. I'm like, look, we'll plead guilty to the underage, drop the public intoxication, and we'll go on our way. All good. It's fine. So I think it's a perfect plan. I think he had to pay a fine. He lost his license for a few months.
Yep.
Didn't matter because he was at school. So going our way, perfect. All go away in a couple months. Lo and behold, shortly thereafter, he gets his second one. I'm like, Brian, come on, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, C-Dog. Like, what can we do? I'm like, well, let me look into this. So rack my brain. I'm like, dude, I don't know what we have here. Let's go to the courthouse and we'll talk to the cop. So get to the courthouse. It's only us in the waiting room. The cop that arrests him comes in and Brian's like, that's the guy. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go talk to him. So I'm out in the hallway, and the cop's like, "Do you know the story?" And I said, "I know what Brian told me." And he's like, "Well, let me tell you from my perspective." He's like, "We're outside of a pizza place. I forget the name of the pizza place now.
Amore's
Amore's
in Westchester.
And they got a call that somebody's making threatening, I don't know, hand signals or mannerisms towards some other kids outside of the shop. Cops are called, cops show up, and they get there. Everybody else runs but Brian. It's just him standing there. And cop comes up, he's like, "Hey, Brian, like, you've been drinking, what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been drinking, yada, yada." He's very, agreeable. Cop's like, "Fine, I gotta take you in. Do you have any weapons on you?" And Brian goes, "Yeah. Actually, no, I don't have any weapons. I just have these two faux foes." And he makes these finger pistols. So this 60-year-old cop is explaining this to me. I'm dying in the hallway of the courthouse, laughing with him.
Because you know Brian said that.
Oh,
for
100%.
Sure.
Brian admitted it.
Yeah.
He left that out of the original story. Shocking. But yeah, the cops tell me, I'm like, "All right, is there anything we can do?" He's like, "Well, he got an underage and a disorderly conduct this time. The chief isn't going to allow him to let go of the underage. We'll drop the disorderly." So we go to the courthouse, talk to the judge, and that's ultimately what happened. He got the underage. I think he lost his license for a year that time.
Oh, he sure did.
And then didn't send it in.
Yes.
He didn't drive for a year, but never sent his license in, so it never counted.
Right.
And he had to go to court again for that. I was off the hook for that one. That was beyond my expertise.
Yeah. Well, when I heard that, because I was the one who had to drive him around for that year.
Right.
And he then, during that year, turned 21. So he could legally drink, but he could never be the designated driver. So who had to be designated driver? Me.
So by all accounts, he played his hand perfectly.
Yeah, he did. Until he didn't send the license in.
Right.
And then I think I was more upset than he was. I was like, another year? I got to drive another year? But I think he convinced the judge that he did.
He did. He ended up going back. And again, I was fresh out of law school. This was somewhat minor, and I felt comfortable enough to go and talk to a judge to do this stuff. But
yeah.
If anybody watching this is ever convicted of anything, don't go to a tax attorney to get, civil or criminal defense work.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up in jail, bro.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
But yeah, it all worked out in the end, but
right.
That was a pretty trying time.
Oh yeah. And I remember when he got that underage, it was Westchester's homecoming, and we were at his apartment.
I was with you.
Yes.
I was there.
You and your wife, Christine, were there.
Yes.
The plan was to have a good night out or have a good time. And then we were wondering all night, we're like, "Where's Brian?"
Yep.
He's like, "Well, he went to get pizza." I was like, "That was like 4 hours ago." Does anybody know what happened? He was in the drunk tank.
Yep. I was there when he got back too. I'm like, "Dude, what happened?" He's like, "I got underage." I'm like, "What the hell are you doing?" But water under the bridge now, Brian.
Water under the bridge, Brian Joe.
Oh. But it was a funny story watching that 60-year-old cop pull out, finger pistols.
Those two faux foes. So I know we mentioned Graham, your 7-year-old.
Yep.
Graham's getting into sports now,
Big
and
time.
he just had this previous baseball season. And I know I have talked to you about this. I talk to you pretty much every day, I'd say. We're very close. And you have begun to have a catch with him, which has to be pretty cool because you grew up with your dad having a catch, right? Now you're a dad having a catch with your son.
Right.
And I like asking the people that I've had on that are parents that have their kids now, like, what's that like feeling having to catch with Graham all the time?
Oh, it's great. I mean, there's nothing better than getting home after a day of work and getting the old gloves out and the ball,
yeah,
and tossing it around the backyard.
Yeah.
Gives us an opportunity to talk, work on some mechanics, that sort of stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah.
He's really into baseball. He had a big year this year. So he was trying to be as, I guess, competent as he could be. He was one of the youngest kids on the team, so it was an uphill climb, but he had fun. He learned a lot. He got better. So
heck yeah.
It's great.
Would you say baseball's like his favorite of the sports that he's doing right now?
His favorite sport is whatever season it is. So when it was basketball season,
yeah,
he was a big basketball player. As soon as baseball came around, he switched gears a little bit.
Yeah.
But
is there one that you would say he's better, like he's ahead of than the other ones, I guess, right now?
He was actually really good at basketball, despite being probably the smallest kid on the team.
Yeah.
He was actually good because he can catch, he can dribble, he can pass. So I'll say basketball now, but he was pretty good at baseball too.
Yeah. Well, you were telling me that in his league, they have like 10-year-olds playing in the same league, which just doesn't make any sense.
It's wild. It's from 6-year-olds to 10-year-olds, and it's kid pitch for the first at least walk. So if anybody gets walked, then the coaches come in and pitch. So it can be terrifying. Some of these 8-year-olds can throw some gas.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a learning experience there, but he did have fun. Nobody got hurt. So
that's good.
It was good.
That's good.
He's into it. He's been dying to get to a Phillies game, so we'll get there hopefully soon enough.
Oh, I love that.
And he can learn a little more from the majors.
Yeah. Plus, just being at the ballpark is like an experience. Like to be like, as a kid, and be like, whoa, everybody's here to watch this game.
Exactly.
Has he been to like a game? I guess I'm sure you brought him as like a young lad, and he's still a young lad. But like now that he's like kind of more aware of like professional sports too.
Yep. So out here in Lancaster, they have a independent league team, the Lancaster Barnstormers.
Right.
And we've gone to their games a couple times.
Okay.
And I think it's helpful for him just to see how the game's supposed to be played, because these little league games are like trying to keep frogs in a wheelbarrow with these kids. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
But, you know, having them watch those guys get an understanding of how to do it has been helpful.
And watching it on TV doesn't keep their attention.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
You're only seeing the pitcher and the catcher and the batter.
Right.
So.
You don't see all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes
Exactly.
there.
So.
If I had to guess, he probably loves stealing.
So I'll say this. He is very fast. And anytime he can run, he does. So in the last game of the year, he actually got hit by a pitch. And at this age, you basically get the choice. You can either take the base or you can stay up and bat. You get a new count. He's like, no, I'm going to first. And of course, during this game, the kid behind him was probably the best hitter in the league and just pops one. And Graham takes off and was so happy he scored a run. But it was like basically the highlight of his year. He went from first to home and was just cruising.
As a kid, that's the best.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best.
Dude, well, there's some kids in the league that they don't want to run at all. So maybe one of their friends plays third base and they don't want to run home. They want to stand on third and talk to their friend, which happened. I was coaching third. That exact scenario came to play. I had to pick the kid up and run him halfway down third baseline. It was the only run we scored. But, you know, I got the MVP for that game.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
But it's good. He's got a lot of friends that play sports, and it's helpful. But I want him to play them all just so he gets experience and figure out what he likes.
I think if you play them all, it helps your skills for all of them.
I completely agree. Like there's movements in different sports that'll help you elsewhere. Like if you play soccer, it's going to help him with basketball.
Yep.
You know, the movements, even for like tennis and stuff like that, would help him with baseball.
Yeah.
So
playing baseball in the field helps your hands, which helps your defense in basketball. You know, like there's so many different things that they're related, that they translate. Like I think it is important that he plays them all for sure.
I completely agree. This is like the perfect distance for a catch, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's enough to where like we can put some mustard on it, but like not. I mean, your arm's going to be miserable tomorrow for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I imagine you're not throwing this far, this hard with Graham.
No, this is the first time I've had a catch with anyone above 7 years old in probably 10 years.
Oh God. I like to ask that. Like, when's the last time you had a catch with a baseball? But I figured you're doing it pretty regularly, so it's not like that.
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
No, we're having catches. Sometimes it's with a football, sometimes it's baseball, sometimes we're playing wiffle ball, but you know, I don't get to open it up very often.
No. Not that we're really opening it up, but
no, it feels good.
For a dad.
Oh yeah. It's my day out.
Another thing I want to bring up is that we're both diehard fantasy players. You're football, I'm baseball.
Yep.
We both text, though, each other questions that we have, even though they're different sports, because it's more a process.
Exactly.
Like, is this stupid if I do this? Is it smart if I do that? And I bring that up because I have a game for us. Okay. It's called Walk, Strikeout, and Hit by Pitch. And it's currently sponsored by the Casual Athlete. There are people who make these hats here. Water resistant. Use them for all occasions. You can use promo code CATCH for 10% off. All the stuff, information's in the description. But so here are your three things I'm going to give you. And you have to decide between walk, strikeout, and hit by pitch by all three. And this might be the toughest one I've given anybody yet. You're going to struggle with this one. You have to either walk, strikeout, hit by pitch, three players that are currently on your Dynasty Fantasy Football team. Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, and Tyreek Hill.
Oh, man.
And people are probably like, dude, he's got all three of them on his team? It's like, yeah. He does.
Yeah. That's like telling me which 3 of my kids I want to hit. That's tough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I've got enough depth at certain positions that I'll probably hit by pitch Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
I'm going to walk Jalen Hurts because I don't want anything happening to that guy.
Yeah.
And I'll strike out Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Those are the 3, right?
Yeah. All right.
I guess the idea being if I strike out Christian McCaffrey, I've still got some bench players that I feel comfortable enough, we can still get by.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I like to say hit by pitch is like you're inflicting pain on them, but you're keeping them around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've heard a lot of different explanations for certain things and why people are doing each one, which is why I like this game because it's really open for interpretation.
It is.
But that makes sense because you also have Ramondre on the bench.
I do.
Right now, and you have Saquon.
And I'm not worried about CMC's mental state. You know what I mean? He's going to strike out. He's going to get right back in there.
Okay. Oh, all right. I like that. I like it.
Tyreek Hill needs to be kept in line every now and again. I need to make sure I can still put him in the lineup. And Jalen, I'm just giving a pass. He's fine.
Well, he's also the youngest out of those 3 too, right?
In
a dynasty league, you're like, I want to keep this guy around.
I got to keep his headspace in a good spot. So that's my answer.
I like it. That's good. I thought you were going to take a lot longer to decide. But I guess that's the lawyer in you. You're like, dude, I already know.
Listen,
I'm
gotta be
prepared
quick.
for all scenarios.
Always. I'm always thinking about dynasty. So that's the way it is.
Yeah. We do talk about it a lot. And now when this airs, it'll probably be a couple weeks into the NFL season. So your answers might not age well.
They might not, but I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with the responses, and I think they make sense.
Yeah, I think they do too. I thought maybe you'd strike out Tyreek because he's the oldest. He's only like 30, 31, but
yeah. But still, I'm more worried about his headspace than someone like McCaffrey's, right?
Huh. I like that. That's good.
It's fascinating to kind of do the fantasy football, especially dynasty, right? Because you're always thinking. And basically the only way to make your team better, and you could probably explain this too from a baseball perspective, is to trade, right? The fascinating part with trades is in order to trade with anybody, you got to make their team better.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a catch-22. To make your team better, you have to make another team better. Or at least offer something that they think makes them better.
Oh boy. At least it wasn't you. At least it was the host of the show throwing
Making me run. All right, we're back.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing about trading in fantasy sports is a lot of people don't look at your team. They just say, I want this guy. I'm going to offer these guys. It's like, but those guys, I have people at those positions. Like, I don't need those guys. That doesn't fit what my team is right now.
Exactly. That being said, I'll entertain all trade offers, but some are more thoughtful than others.
Yeah. And then you know those people, and that's when you get a lot of, I end up trading with the same people for the most part.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
But it makes it fun. It helps you meet other people,
Right.
It's interesting.
It is fun to keep your team year to year. I strictly do dynasty leagues now.
I don't blame you. It's addicting.
It's way better.
I like the year-round aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
Think about how much stuff changes in the offseason, too.
Right.
And all of it impacts your players. So taking that information and, seeing how other people might perceive it is interesting.
You said you guys watched Michael Charles's episode, right? Or at least Christine did.
Yep.
So we brought up with him the top funniest family members, and I wanted to know what you thought of that. You didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I was a little upset by that.
Yeah.
I didn't even get consideration. That's fine. I'll let it slide now.
Not even honorable mention.
Nothing.
No. Look, you'd be in there.
Listen, I got some dry one-liners here and there.
The
problem is, I think I'm too far removed from a lot of this stuff because I don't make it back as often as I would like to.
Yeah.
So out of sight, out of mind. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. So then I'm going to ask you the same question. I think I'm going to ask every family member I have on here.
Okay.
What your top 5 funniest family members are.
Okay.
Aunts, uncles, cousins, little cousins. We're on what, the 3rd generation now? 4th generation? I don't even know.
There's too many of us.
Yeah, there's too many. Too many. But all right, give me your top 5 funniest family members.
So top 5 of everybody. It's got to be Uncle Michael and your dad.
Yeah.
At the top. I'll put. It's tough. I kind of want to say Uncle Tim because he provides a lot of material.
Yeah, he does.
And he's funny. He doesn't mean to be.
No.
But he is funny. I think EP is very funny.
Yeah, EP's very dry.
And I love the dry humor.
Yeah.
It's great. There was a time Christine and I were at a restaurant, and it just so happened Eric and Nikki were there. And they come up to us and we're talking. It's only like 5 minutes, and our food comes out while they're standing there. And Eric goes, "All right, Nick, we got to go. Christine's salad's getting cold." And I just died. I thought it was the funniest thing. It's just stuff like that that gets me.
Yeah.
You know,
Sneak them in, get out of there. Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. So that's what? That's if you're putting Uncle Tim in there, that would give you 4 so far. And I dropped that like a bum.
it's 4. What do you think? And then I got to probably go Brian.
Sneak Brian in.
Yeah, Brian's got to be in there.
Yeah. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of the dry, but he's also got the like over the top, two faux kind of funny, you know?
I'll sub out Uncle Tim. I don't know that that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll add you. So I'll add you in there as one of the funniest, yes. Because I think you've got it's subtlety. And I can appreciate that. And it makes me laugh.
I appreciate that you say that. You're wrong. I'm not in the top 5. But I appreciate that as the host of the show, making me feel good about myself.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Aunt Memes would have something to say about that. Shane might have something to say about that.
It's fair.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably the other 2 honorable mentions.
Yep.
Your wife is pretty funny, like sneaky funny.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't want to, give too much credit, but
yeah, she's funny. Yeah.
No, but every time we're all together, it's just laughs.
Yeah.
So on any given day, it could be 5 different people.
Right. Right.
I think Uncle Vince is funny. Uncle Vince cracks me up.
Uncle Vince is funny too. Yeah, it's not to say that nobody in our everybody's funny.
Yeah.
We're always laughing, but I would like Uncle Michael and my dad for sure.
Right.
Are in there for sure. I think everybody would agree those especially Uncle Michael.
Yes. Definitely, like your dad, Uncle Michael, and Brian have to be in.
Yeah.
The rest are just filler, but I think everybody has their moments. And it's just funny how different people, see the world and how they create humor out of that.
Yeah.
Making me work a little bit. That's fun.
I know. That's been a theme recently. I've been making the guests work a little bit more than I have. Than I probably should. With Michael, we also did top 3 most handsome.
Can I list myself for all 3 or?
You didn't include you in that either.
See, there's something wrong with that. I'm going to give him again another break, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But listen, I probably wear a suit more than anybody else in the family.
That's true. Well, I guess that's another, we could do best dressed.
Yeah.
I mean, EP's going to be in most handsome and best dressed, no
the
matter
guy's got his own clothing line.
Yeah, he's got his own clothing line. He's a handsome fella.
It's true.
He says this to me, and it cracks me up. And I'll bring it up to him when I have him on too. He says, it's not what you wear, it's the person who wears it. It's like, just own it. You put something on, you own it, you're wearing that clothes. I'm like, for you, maybe.
Right.
For you. I can't walk around wearing the stuff that you're wearing. There's no way.
Yep. No. Listen, it fits different people differently, but, got to have that swag too. And EP's definitely got swag.
Yeah.
So does Jordan. Jordan's got swag.
Yep. Keenan's
got swag.
Those were the top 3.
Yeah.
You're like, they walk into a room, you're like, that's a different level.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. They're the top tier for sure.
I'll say this, Vincent is very well dressed as well.
He is. Oh, you're right. He would be in best dressed.
He is. He's got to be in the running for most handsome too. I think he's up there.
Yeah, him and Shane have a good head of hair.
They do.
Good head of hair.
Probably the best.
Yeah. Yeah, they got flow.
They do.
For somebody who doesn't have any, I appreciate people who have nice head of hair.
Yeah, and for somebody that's losing it, I'm jealous. So.
Yeah. But then if you talk to Shane, you know what? This pisses me off about Shane. All right? There, Shane, you're not watching either, but if you are, I'm talking shit on you. He's so sick of his hair. It's like, it's just too much. It's too much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, stop it.
Get him on the record saying that, and then when he's 60 losing it, we're going to pull that up.
Yeah, I like that. We'll hold him accountable for that.
Yeah. Listen, he's going to start losing it as soon as Nora starts growing up,
Yeah.
It's going away, Shane. It's happening.
He's going to be pulling that hair out. But yeah, if we're doing top 3 best dressed, it's definitely probably you, EP, and Vincent. Vincent shows up to everything like blazer on, like nice pants, nice shoes.
Listen, every
Cleaned
time
up.
he shows up, there's some naked mannequin at Banana Republic that's missing literally its whole outfit.
Just said, I'll take all that, please.
Yep. This in a bag.
Oh, God. That's funny.
Ah.
Oh, hello.
There you
I
go.
see your arm's getting a little tired over there, isn't it?
No, it's just getting loose. That's the problem.
Well, I didn't really have any other questions for you, but I know me and you, we could talk for fucking hours.
Yeah.
We could. Or we could wrap this up and then go have some beers.
I like that.
Yeah, that does sound pretty good.
That
And I
sounds
know
good.
Graham really wants to play me in wiffle ball right now,
He does.
baseball, and I need to show him that I'm going to take him deep
You should.
and I'm going to strike him out. So how about we end on you throwing a curveball?
Ooh. Okay.
Because, and here's, I like to do curveball and knuckleball to end, but you have one of the deadliest wiffle ball curveballs I've ever seen.
It's true.
And I try and throw it, and it's good. Like, it's still good, but it's not as good as what you do.
So I'll say this, in my advanced age, when I was a kid, I would try and throw a curveball as fast as possible. Growing up, now I know you're supposed to take a little bit off, and that creates a little more dip. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't throw it as well with a baseball, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, ready?
That was a warm-up.
Warm up. All right.
All right, here we go. On the record, for real. It's got the spin,
It does.
but you're just letting it go like a little bit out
So
there.
I'll say this, it's also been, I don't know, 15 years since I've thrown one
All
of
right,
these.
take a little bit less, take a little bit more off of it.
All right.
And then, boom, here we go. Same spot.
All three of those are out of the park.
You're hitting the right-handed batter in the head
That's
every time.
They're not taking their base. They're going to stay there and hit again.
That's ball 3, but they
It
got
is.
hit 3 times.
Let me throw a knuckle. Let me try one of
Yeah,
those.
we'll end on a knuckleball. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that spun more than the curveball.
That's not hitting anybody.
No.
Let's go away to the backstop.
Out of here.
Doggy, I appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming. Expect you guys later, all right?